Good morning, you guys. Okay, so the first card that came out is the Beauty in the reverse, and it's next to the Void. And it's obvious here that somebody's with somebody that honestly just like puts them down, makes them feel real icky. We have the taking your power back in the reverse, and this person just definitely has power over you, control over you, dominance over you. This person seems to pay very close attention to everything that you're doing and making sure that you don't do anything that brings you joy. But they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to be there for you. They make you sleep alone, back turned towards them. It's horrible. I've been there. Edward did that to me all the time, and I know exactly how that feels. And some of you guys just might be still trying to talk to this person and ask him, hey, thinking actually like that maybe it's just the way that you're approaching the situation that could be the reason for why there's a delay in their response or any understanding, but it's not. It's not. You know what I found out was going on? Edward was literally on almost every kind of social media website possible. I'm talking hundreds of women. Hundreds, dude. Message, every, dude, it was on, hey, that's why you gotta back up, because there's not a lot of room for you right there, bro. You're not gonna do it? You ain't gonna do it? Are you not gonna do it? You won't do it? You won't do it? You're just gonna stay right there? No, it was crazy. I even drove him to work. He lived in my house. I even was like, oh, you moved down here from California. Don't even worry about it. Like, I'll give you the first few months to kind of get settled in. And just dumb shit, dude. I thought I was being a good woman. No, dude. That's why we really got to get to know who the hell we're in a relationship with prior. And even more, just pay attention to the things that they say. Like, there was a lot of, like, obvious signs before I got with this person. There's a lot of obvious signs in general, okay? Since I've became more aware of men in general, since it's been about the last 5 years, I've been learning a lot more about men since I worked out in Alaska, and also since I became single after Zeke, because I was with him for 8 years. So I wouldn't date. I haven't really dated. I was with my son's dad for 4 years, and then my baby's dad for 4 years, and then I was literally maybe a year. It was like 9 to 10 months in between I got with fucking Zeke. So it was like bam, 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 all those. It was like 16 years. And before that, I was just my mom's kid. I never really found myself. I don't even know. I realized I didn't know who that person was. Who was I? And once, before I don't think I had known yet that Edward was doing what he was doing on the phone. I just thought he was literally ignoring me. And I would be just sitting there like this, dude. We did have our back turned towards each other. I even booked vacations to the hot springs all over. To Oregon. We love going to the ocean. We love going to the hot springs, dude. So I booked some for Montana. Okay, back up, baby. I love you. I'm not kidding around. Go. You're so dumb, dude. Get out of here. I love you. Anyways, he didn't go. Okay, he went on one of them, and he threw this big old fit, and then he refused to even swim. He literally even went fully clothed on the hike into the forest and sat on a rock in all of his clothes and whatever, you know what I mean? It's whatever, dude. Everywhere we went, it was like, other than fishing, did he not have a problem with it, you know what I mean? It was like everything was always about fucking him. So you might want to honestly look a little bit farther into the situation. because when I found out what the dilemma was, I handled it very much differently. One thing I'm not gonna deal with is fucking obviously ever being cheated on. You're a fucking retard. And we just gotta honestly just like set our standards at some point around we will not tolerate. There's plenty that we do tolerate, and it's bad enough, you know what I mean, that we even fucking do that stuff to ourselves. They do it to our kids. My kids, they're such a big support for me. My family's such a big support for me because they do things that, for like, well, it's easier for anybody to honestly say out loud and recognize somebody else's situation. And you know what? Honestly, for me, it's good because I don't back I love you. We have had enough time together. I'm in the middle of something. No, I'm not kidding around. Go. I'm not kidding. Yeah, that's me pointing you to go. What, do you have? I'm looking at you. You're being recorded. Is that what you want? Are you a movie star, Hazel? Are you a movie star? So dumb. I love you. Okay. No, I'm not kidding. Go get your toy. Go get your toy. Go get it. I'm gonna get it. Okay. It's okay if we have space sometimes. Empress in the reverse. Some of you guys could have had a miscarriage. Some of you guys could have even had a miscarriage because of the stress or the abuse that you were going through with this person. That's could be also why you feel avoid. Some of you guys could have lost your mom. And some of you guys just don't feel like. Maybe some of you guys are suffering from postpartum depression too. Just a lack of love in this house and warmth and welcoming. And this person has power over the whole place, and it's not healthy for anyone in here, not even the person involved. The best thing that you could really do is get yourself out of this situation, and it's not going to be easy because when you're involved with somebody with this kind of energy, it's crazy strong. Even when I was at work, I would be doing a haircut and I would get sick as heck out of nowhere. I couldn't even work right, dude. I was so distraught and distracted because I could feel the energy. And that's when I started honestly just studying energy. I needed to take power back over my thoughts, and I was frantic, and I was expressing what I didn't know was going on yet. But when I found out what he had been doing and writing and why he was missing trips and why he never went and why he treated me so bad, it was just, he was treating all women like that. He was playing everyone and telling everybody the same thing and using every person that he'd ever been with. And there's a reason why things aren't working out. The universe doesn't deny love. So if things are not actually working out for us, I think from now on we just need to start actually just asking God why. What do we need to be paying attention to? And that is very important. It's why I haven't let anybody live with me ever since. And I haven't been in a hurry to do anything like that. Like, I see somebody, but it's been 2 years of just taking it slow and going on dates. We go on a date. And we both have our own house, and we don't really push each other to do anything. And we just, whenever we have free time, we go and do something fun together, and we like UFC. But I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of things we don't have in common. And I bring that up, And there's, what do I care about? I care about nature. I care about camping, swimming. I like to go fishing. I like to do my reads, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that we gotta really just be asking ourselves, like, what are we not gonna be okay with giving up? Because when you're in a relationship, your whole life changes. Even though everybody thinks it's just gonna be great. Sometimes it is. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't fucking know about that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's not really that fucking great. Maybe there's better love, but I don't know that anything is really that great. I think, a lot of people, honestly, even in nice houses and with nice looks and cars, their husbands go to work all the time, and I got clients that tell me about how she has to take care of her medically fucking sick husband, and it's her second husband, and how she's pissed that she has to do 2 husbands in a row, and that when her last husband died, she did not remarry to redo this again. So I don't really think it's about any of us, honestly, being dumber than the other people. We're not. Just some people have talents where they probably invest their energy into, which make them appear a little bit better or worse. But everybody, at the end of the day, probably is. There's plenty of women in all different classes or men that are wishing that their partner would talk to them. They're sleeping alone. There's plenty of people that aren't feeling beautiful because society has put such a label on expectations and worth and value and beauty, and I wouldn't worry about that, you guys. I have clients that are, my sister is worried about being up to date with the trends. I've just never been like that. I've always been a dork, and I've dressed like a dork. I feel like I've always just had that most unique styles, and I have always been aware that everybody around me is like up to date with the trends and stuff, but just I never followed the trends. I followed whatever I liked about anything. I didn't just change something because somebody liked that. I never had that problem, I don't feel like. I listened to people like my boyfriend or my mom when I didn't really want to. But I don't feel like I was just full-blown fake and acted like I needed to dress a certain way or look a certain way to be popular. And I'm really grateful that I didn't do that. Not because anybody that does is bad, it's because I see girls and guys that do that, dude. And they're treated like poop most of the time by the people that are up to date with the trends. And it's like a sorority group. And in my opinion, even the group leader's mad. Insecure, jealous, envious, angry. So what? They get this collection of people. And it's just like this big old group of, I don't even know. I don't want to explain it in a rude way because actually all those women are very hurt and they're beautiful women. I've been one, even. But I was just kind of like, I guess I was like more like Thelma. Or wait, it was like Helga from Hey Arnold. I was like Helga, if anything. I don't know. I would just glare you down and threaten to beat your ass because my mom wore steel-toed boots. And we watched wrestling. I didn't have a girly mom, so I probably didn't stay up to train for that reason. We grew up on a farm and we wore flannels, and my mom would kick our fucking ass if we didn't do what we were supposed to, and I'm glad because that's where I got my work ethic. If it wasn't for my mom raising us that you need to work hard for yours and that shit ain't handed to you, for all I know, I could have fell, victim to being in somebody else's financial care. And that was one thing I fucking told myself I will never do. Like, I've always had a problem following rules. And my mom said if I didn't want to follow the rules, then I could move out, get a job, pay my own bills, and then I will make my own rules. And even though she said it in a smart-ass way, it programmed itself into my brain. Get out, move a job, pay my own bills, I can make my own rules. Get out, move a job, pay my own bills, I can make my own rules. And that's right, you know what, honestly, it's not your information, it's your delivery is a big thing. She could have said, you're a fucking piece of shit, Terry, you ain't gonna do shit with your life. She could have said anything. She didn't realize that she was programming that into my brain. I didn't either. But if you say anything enough, it's just like a positive affirmation. You have the not letting go card. And it says miracles happen, and you need to give the universe your clear intentions. So when you guys are making these determinations about what you know and how you feel and how this person makes you feel, and it's obvious, like, the universe does not support abusive relationships. There are certain standards when it comes to love. In communication, you'll know right off top. Me and the new guy, we have no good communication. We don't fight, but we've had 3 arguments in 2 years. Not big arguments, but basically, like, we've needed to talk about 3 things so far. None of the 3 times did it go the way that good communication goes. And what is good communication? It's the act of both talking and listening. We both would have been able to need to receive each other's information without offense, without taking it personally, and listen without interrupting, process what they're saying, take a moment, and then properly respond. If you find yourself getting upset or your emotions starting to increase in intensity, then in my opinion, we need to work more on things before you even think about dating. And I feel like, honestly, like, I already told him, I said, like, we have date nights and shit, it's fun. I said, but in my opinion, honestly, it doesn't take 2 years for somebody to, like, be, I don't know, I haven't, like, said anything rude, but, like, it doesn't seem like it would take 2 years. It's weird. I don't know. I haven't said, I don't even know. I'm just so used to, I guess, possessive men, and maybe it's good. I don't know. It's just been really, he's really sweet and kind and peaceful and buys me presents, but he doesn't really like to go camping, and he also doesn't know how to talk when I get it. Well, when I want to talk, I'm gonna fucking talk about it. So he just stays quiet and gets like those people that just stay quiet when you're trying to talk to them, and then I'm like, speak, dude, it's your turn to speak. 10 of Cups in the reverse, it's probably the same as you guys. When we know, we know, is what I'm saying. When we know, we know. So anyways, I fucking told him last night even. I said, listen, like, I want to do this stuff. I want to do these things, I told him. I said, so I'm really glad that we're talking. Because I want to model and think I can make a lot of money off of it, I told him. And I just want to be honest about everything that I want to do. This is kind of like what I planned out for the year. And even a couple weeks ago when we went on that date, I spoke again about my feelings. Because it's very important that you guys are speaking up about your feelings. Because any type of confusion, it's not about being mean, it's not about disrespecting that person, it's about you respecting them. They deserve to know what you think. And I said, You're totally welcome to see other people if that's something that you're interested in. And it's not because he's a bad person. It's because I just don't feel like it takes somebody 2 years to kind of be assertive. If after 2 years we've been going on a date every fucking Friday, if we show up, it's been at least 2 Fridays a month for 2 years. On average. When that was cute and everything, I really liked it. I hadn't spent much time going on dates before. So it was new, and it was actually romantic, and it was sweet, and he does. He shows up all the time with just jewelry. This was hanging in the Christmas tree. He gets me diamond earrings, necklaces, all the time. He really does have a very romantic streak to him, but, so I just was honest, and I just said, hey, he also has 2 little kids. I've never been a stepmom before, and that's okay. I don't mind. I like them. They're very cute. And even better, they like me too. They're really sweet. There's a lot of stuff, that we can all be taking a look at here. And what you need to look at is do you guys have the ability to overcome differences? Do you have the same things in common which bring you joy? What matters? Are you guys into your parents making decisions for you? He is. He's a fuck. No, dude. No. I'm not into that one bit, bro. There's been a few little things, there's a positives, and then there's these. So what are the things that I said no about so far? Communication's big deal. Parents being involved? Strike. Kids? I don't mind. Totally fine. Live in different houses? Totally fine. There's good and bad. But let's see. If we can't communicate, and then when we have a problem, their parents are the first person they turn to for guidance instead of their partner. And I'm not even exaggerating about that. There was a situation a while back, and none of my advice went anywhere. It was the 3 of them discussing what would happen, and I literally know nothing. Dude, to me, offended. I'm trying to be respectful about it, but it's pretty obvious here. And that's what I mean when I tell you guys to just don't ignore what you feel. I'm grateful that we did take it slow, and I'm grateful that I haven't had anybody living here and that I can actually experience what it would be like to date. Cycles of life, but this one's over. Make yourself clear, and if you don't feel like dropping it, you don't have to, but you should at least be honest, like what I did over the last few weeks, and just say, hey, focus and dream big, because your dreams are your life path. And when you get this urge to do something, that's your path of life calling for you. The world needs you. It needs you happy, and it needs you proactive. It needs you out of this dark room in bed. It needs you feeling positive, because if you're not feeling positive, you're feeling negative, and all energy is expressed and put out into the universe. So it's just like fucking, just think about like mustard gas or something, or I don't know. I just picture one of those fucking gas rooms where people are dying. And if we all just think about every single time that we felt not very good, it releasing a little bit more gas into one of these rooms, and it's like a Saw movie, and then they're like and they're like, stop, oh my gosh, but it can be stopped by respecting ourselves and respecting other people and practicing self-control when we want to get upset, when we want things to move faster, when we're not getting the results from another person that we're in relationships with. What can we do? It's about respecting ourselves and respecting other people. When we have that, we know where things are going. We know when we can't fix something. We understand that we're working with an object that doesn't go here. It's like you're trying to use a flat screwdriver and you need a Phillip. You're starting to just put it into those kind of examples for yourself, and it's working that way. You're like, oh, well, it would make sense, dude. Why the fuck can we go grab a Phillips screwdriver and need a flat screwdriver, and it just makes sense that you had the wrong tool? No, I didn't ask you for a wrench. I asked you for a screwdriver. It's the same thing with love. You didn't ask for a wrench. You wanted a screwdriver, okay? So get rid of your wrench. Go look for something else. You didn't want a wrench. You wanted a screwdriver. It's literally, people need to be looked at like a pair of shoes. If we went into the store and some pair of shoes was right there and it's not your type, you would never take it home with you. You would go get a different pair. So look at your partners like a pair of shoes, and honestly, like, if they're all worn out, if they're wearing you out, who doesn't want a new pair of shoes? And some of us have to work in between getting those shoes, because some of you guys, you want to invest into a nice pair. So save your money. Take the time. Don't be worried about going and getting the quickest, fastest pair of shoes or new partner that you can. And when you meet them, continue to take your time. And I'll tell you what right now, if when you meet anybody, they need somewhere to live, or they don't have a vehicle, or they're not working, it's a no. It's a no, because they are not 100% when they get to you. And it's a requirement. It's not I'm being rude. I'm not even speaking off of experience. I didn't know we needed to be 100. I thought we could do 50-50 and make the 100. No, because then we expect the other person to make up for our 50%, and they expect us to make up for theirs. So we're all doing 200, really. It's exhausting. Everybody needs to be in a place of maturity and security within themselves, because if you're lacking that and you're looking for love outside of yourself, then when they remove it from you, all you do is feel empty and sick, and you do. If the love that another person gives you is what makes you feel beautiful, then of course when they take it from you, what are you going to feel? Empty, sick, sad, and what? Not beautiful anymore? Like, it's all in the mind, babe. It's all in the mind. Once you start looking at bitches like fucking screwdrivers and fucking hammers and wrenches, and you're like, nope, I actually don't even use power tools, so I want nothing to do with that. You just gotta look at it a little bit further, a little bit bigger, and a little bit deeper than the surface unit. And it's actually really easy to see. Ask them, what do you do for fun? Tell them, I want to sell my house, and I want a motor home, and I just want to travel to every ocean and every forest in the world. No joke. He don't want to do that. He told me he would never live in a camper. That's my dream, dude. I already have all this shit. You know why I bought this house? So my kids could be raised in a house. Me and Zeke, clear back to when I was with Zeke, and I got hit with him in what, 2000 and... It was like 2009. And we broke up at 16. That was our dream then. We loved the forest. I loved going camping clear back with my dad and my mom and everybody. That was my favorite place in the world, because when we went camping, there was no signal out there, and nobody fought, and we all just got to play together, and the trees, they smelled so good, and the river, and it was the only time off the farm where we all were together as a family. There was nobody could interrupt it. The worst, the only chore you have out there is washing the dishes in the river. And it was my first favorite place. And you know what? To me, that means something big. And I will never settle down with somebody that doesn't find joy in the same things that I do. But I'll be respectful, and I will just be honest and say, hey, those things that really matter to me, you definitely did. I tell him straight, you did not like it. Like, you're not going to change it now. He's like, oh, yeah, no, I like it. No, you did not. I tell him, I'm honest with him. I still go on the dates, and we do our best to have a great time, but I fucking bitch. Got to the bathtub, and I just feel like I can't find a lighter for the life of me. Send me lighters, please. But, you know, I tell them I really like to model, and I really want to do this and that, and I've been doing it off and on, you know, for 3-4 years now. I told him clear back when I met Edward, and he wasn't for it. I was doing it when I was with Zeke modeling, and Zeke was insecure, and he wasn't for it too. So I just told him, you know, these is what I'm doing, and I've definitely enjoyed it. I said, you're so sweet, you know, and I said, you've done so many great things for me, and you really have treated me really sweetly. But, you know, I'm open and honest with them, and, you know, I tell them I love him and the boys, and I also tell him that I'm glad that we don't live together with the way this communication's going right now. I said, because I don't deal with a mute, and he doesn't deal with somebody who's I'm very forward with my communication, so I'm sure I could work on that and work on being more patient, but I'm not really trying to work on much when it comes to a relationship. I'm not gonna work on shit when we haven't even begun. Why would I start working on things? I'm going the easy route this year. I just want to be with people. You said, thank you. I love it. Thank you. Wow. I don't want to come into a relationship working on something, and I don't think we deserve that. I think this is the year where I told him I want to go on jet planes, and I want to go to islands, and I want to buy whatever I want whenever I want, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to model, and I think I can make a lot of money off of it. And I said, I told him, you know, I've had some dates, you know, with a few different guys, and so far none of them have been really for it. And, you know, he said, oh, I'm for it. But I just, you know, this is my I'm not gonna lie. It's my shit. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm definitely gonna model, and I'm definitely gonna invest into camera. And even though he said, oh, I would like to be your photographer, you can do it, I'll be your photographer. And I said, you know, obviously that was really sweet response, and I don't know, maybe it'll be a thing. I've never really let anybody photograph for, well, I mean, I have, like, but they were for, like, photo shoots for, like, the schools when we were doing it. It was different. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like, actual, like, I want to, like, do completely other things. And I guess I don't care if somebody was my photographer, but I guess at least you're just being open and honest, and you're not putting any of your goals and dreams on the back burners, you guys. Because if you think that anybody that you're dating is a bitch, they are. Straight up. When have they not been a bitch when it wasn't working out? We're getting too old to honestly spend any time after this point with people that don't really seem compatible with your goals and your dreams, because we're not in our 20s anymore, and when you get into your 30s, you're not as ignorant. You actually know things. You see it. You see what people are doing and how they're acting, and your brain tells you this person's acting this way, and then you're like, no, you don't want to believe it. If you've told yourself that, it's true. If you guys need to get out of a situation, and I don't know where you live, but I can at least tell you Spokane, Washington has resources for housing and everything. I had no house when I got up here. I literally came up here with Halo, and we had nothing. We had no house. I didn't have a license. I didn't have a car. I didn't even have a phone. I gave it up before I came because I didn't want to have the phone numbers to the people that I used to know. I started from scratch. So there's plenty of places like that around for you guys to check into. And no, it wasn't fun. It was scary. But, you know, I don't remember honestly getting up here and thinking, man, I really shouldn't have given up my apartment. I don't remember that. I came up here and I went to a 6-month inpatient for women and their kids, and I ended up having Halo. Oh, it's fucked, dude. I had her here in treatment, and obviously at the hospital right before they gave me my C-section, they literally fucking gave me opiates. I'm not even, I mean, I wasn't even into opiates when I came up here. I was into meth, if you really want to know. And they gave me opiates before my C-section. And then they fucking UA'd me. They bring the results back and say I had opiates in my system. I was in treatment already for like 4 months at that point. Obviously, I wasn't fucking using shit in treatment. The treatment center brought me to the hospital to have my baby. They took Halo from me, right? Dude, it was fucked. They accused me of having opiates in my system anyway, because this is why I fucking hate CP. This is why a lot of us hate the law, because it seems like whenever you even do right, they fucking still pull some shit like this, dude. You know what? They did. They fucking took her from me, said that, and there, no way, dude. There is no fucking way that they actually fucking thought that I was doing it. I think they did it because I was doing good. And I think that they didn't expect me to actually do it good. I think that they did not expect me to give up my apartment, to leave James, to fucking give up my phone. And it was all voluntary. I did not fucking have to come up here. I fucking did. I came up here and set that treatment center up because I was scared that I was about to get charged with a charge that would put me in prison. And this prison, I would have been able to have Halo in a prison and raise her until I was released. No fucking way. I was never going to do that with my kid. So I signed up for this treatment, dude. Found out all of the fucking charges got dropped. I could have got released from jail that day. But the treatment center that I fucking signed up for called and got me in that day too. And it was just one of those moments where it was like, are you gonna go? Or are you gonna get out and go home to your apartment and get back into the same shit that you were in? And I didn't. I fucking went. And I never went back. I never came home. And I was not expecting to go. So just know that by taking these leaps of faith, dude, like literally I'm a homeowner today and I have learned so much. Like I am so grateful, honestly, like to have came up here because Spokane has like helped me in so many ways. Like they'll help you with everything. They help you with buying your first house. They help you with your apartment. And you gotta follow rules. I was not allowed to have a boyfriend for a long time. It was in my agreements. It was a contract by multiple landlords. If they caught me, which they checked on me, they were a lot like my mom. I had some really wonderful people up here. And yeah, I was grounded from having boys because you know what? They determined that even beyond my addictions to drugs, they said your number one addiction is men wanting to be in a relationship. And Tara, when you build your life up, they said, seems like when everything's going good in your life, you're doing good. But when you lose something that matters a lot to you in your life, they said it seems like your whole world just crashes all around you. And they said, we're concerned mostly of your addiction to wanting a boyfriend. And there's, take that time, you guys, to be helped. Let somebody help you. Let somebody answer your prayers. The person that we want help, we want to make things work with, more than likely, is very aware of what they're doing to you. And they would need different type of help than you. You wouldn't be in the same classes, okay? You don't intentionally hurt people. And I'm not saying that they don't deserve help or that they're not hurting, but it's a different type of help. You need help to learn how to be strong and wise and self-secure and not rely on this person or other people for the love that you didn't have from your family. And you need to just know that you are not loved from anybody previously to this relationship or by this person in this relationship because you did something wrong. You know why they treat us like that? Because we're addicted to people on that wavelength. Those people on that wavelength, that's how they behave. And until they grow and improve, which some of them can't. If you're dealing with a psychopath or a narcissist, which that's what I was dealing with, they don't change, babe. And they also don't think that they need to. If when you ask somebody if they do something wrong and they turn it around on you and say you're the one that did something wrong every time, they're a narcissist. And they're gaslighting you. And they're not. You have so much pain inside, even alone from what they've done to you, that you would need to actually just go spend time taking care of that. Wasting time trying to convince a narcissist that they did anything wrong is actually a pure, complete waste. Because they don't think they do anything wrong. Look it up. And if you don't watch yourself, you could end up turning into a sociopath. And a sociopath is somebody who is abused by a psychopath or even a narcissist over and over and over, and it hurts your heart so much so that you become sad and angry, and before you know it, you're sad, angry, and you have characteristics where you're treating other people the same way that person treated you. So you're emotional and you're angry. A lot of us have, that was what our moms were going through, because my dad was a psychopath. I thought it was just so funny to torture and torment my mom. She was a good woman, you know what I mean? She had to raise all of us, and she was begging him, please, Larry, get clean. Please, Larry, come home. Please, Larry, fuck that shit. That's why you guys gotta be careful, because you know what my dad did? He fucking did the same shit to my mom that fucking a lot of us fucking have to deal with. And that's not fucking cool. They didn't have mental health back then. They didn't offer these services or these classes to our parents. Maybe your mom fucking was treated like shit by your fucking dad too, or vice versa. And if you guys knew the definition of sociopath, it is literally somebody who is abused, that really had a good heart, that their heart was broken. And you know what? They're still a good person. They don't have a psycho brain, but they were hurt so damn much that's what they turned into, was somebody with characteristics of that, with a good broken heart. So just be careful and really just start studying on mental health disorders and how they are developed and how we can work through them and cope, because every person, honestly, even psychopaths, have good traits about them. So that's why we need to just start understanding what it is that we're working with here. These are not just humans, they're programs. Everybody thinks differently. They're made up differently. And your thoughts and your emotions and the energy and the chemicals and the alcohol and the drugs and the thoughts and everything, it's all a freaking baker's freaking lab. And your recipe. Every recipe is different. What are you working with? And does that do these foods go together? Okay? Because there's a million other ways to look at it, except for that everybody's human goes together and that we're all the same. We're not.